Yo, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's Saturday. Hope you guys had a fantastic week. Hope you guys are having a great day. I'm excited. Today's going to be a freaking awesome day. I appreciate you guys waiting. I am so sorry for the delay. We had some technical difficulties. And I'm not a technical person. I'm not an electronic person. So we're going to try to figure out how to get that done. SuperMario, what's going on, dude? What is going on? Really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. Thank you for you guys' patience. I cannot overstate that. I really, really appreciate you. Chris is having some technical difficulties of his own, and I told him to get an Apple. So hopefully after this situation, that'll be enough to kind of propel him into the Apple dumpling gang. That actually may not be a bad name for us. The Apple dumpling game. That reminds me, my daughter and like all the neighborhood kids were like starting a business, a lemonade stand business earlier this summer. And what do we name them? I named them the Podunk, what was it? The Alaska Podunk Hopscotch Mafia or something like that. It was kind of funny. But anyway, appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for being here. We're going to have an awesome show today. We are going to be doing a Q&A. Guys, this is all for you. All of it. This whole show is for you guys. If you guys have questions, shoot me a PM on Facebook and or the gram. And if you guys want to be on the show and get some questions answered, I will bring you guys in and have you guys jump on here and we can kind of have a conversation. If you guys have something that you want to dive a little deep in here about. Chris, like I said, will be right behind me. I've had a couple of people send us some questions they specifically want answered. If you guys have any questions that you want answered, go ahead, throw them in the chat. Chris and I will try to touch on as many as we can. So yeah, this is all for you guys. If you guys have mindset stuff you guys want to talk about, if you guys have questions about the process or negotiating or sales, storytelling, if you guys have anything like that, please let us know. That's why we're here. This is for you guys. Actually, as a matter of fact, you guys want to know how to elevate yourself, how to elevate your circumstances, how to elevate the people that you're surrounding yourself with. Take a screenshot. No, actually, wait for Chris to get here. But please share this with somebody. Okay. That's your fee for this. Okay. Chris and I love doing this. Your fee is to share this with somebody. If you guys are getting value from this, Chris and I have been doing this for, I think, maybe a little over 3 months or so now. And if you guys are getting value from these, please share this with somebody because you're going to bring more people into this group, more people who are on that frequency. And it's going to have this snowballing and this compounding effect. And you're doing it for you. That's how we all got into, that's why we're all here, right? Because somebody probably shared with you the YouTube video that pasted on Bigger Pockets or something like that. And you guys got into the creative financing group and started hanging around the sub 2 crowd, the sub 2 hopscotch mafia. And, it's led you to here. And we got this amazing community. Because if there's one thing that I've learned is the one thing that's going to aid in your success, the biggest thing that will aid in anybody's success is not education. It's not your willingness and your drive to succeed. It's not having an ambition or goals or a desire or a dream or anything like that. All those are good. Okay, I'm not downplaying that. All of those are fantastic. But if there's one thing that's going to aid in your guys' success, sorry, man, my wife, my whole family's all like sick now, so I'm trying not to do a lot of coughing into the mic. I woke up feeling weird this morning. But if there's one thing that's going to aid in your guys' success, it is going to be community. It's going to be community. Okay, if you think about this for a second, think about back in the olden days, like the olden days. Get back. I mean, you can trace this back as far back as you want, as far back as mankind has been here on the planet. And if you go back that far, what you're going to come to realize is that people put themselves into groups, right? You go back, you guys, think about your guys' time here. Think about your guys' Think about the people that you hung out with, in high school. Think about the people that you guys spent your time with, right? Everyone's kind of got these cliques. They've got this group. Like, that's just kind of how fundamentally that we are designed. We put ourselves in these groups. And when you look at your life, when you look at your circumstances, when you look at the way that you are living right now, the money in your account, the house you live in, the quality of relationships that you have, you can boil everything down to you are the average of the people that you are surrounding yourself with. Okay? When you look at every aspect, even go look at your weight. Just as an example, we got fitness. We've been doing a lot of fitness talking over the course of the last week. But look at your fitness level, your BMI. It's probably pretty average with the people that you surround yourself with. When you look at the money in your account, it's probably pretty average with the people that you surround yourself with. When you look at your goals and your ambitions and the things that you want to do, it's probably pretty average with the people that you surround yourself with. Luke says my BMI is shit. Dude, mine is too, bro. Mine is too. Mine is too. Ever since COVID, dude. Ever since COVID. That's what I'm telling everybody anyway. It's COVID. Blame it on COVID. But no excuse, right? We can get out there. We can change it. We just need to elevate ourselves, and we need to elevate the people that we surround ourselves with, because that is going to be the fastest way of changing anything in your life. Yeah, you can have a drive, you can have goals and things you want to do and taking action, but when you have an entire community that you can come back to and you can rely on, and people that are going to hold you accountable, people that are going to give you shortcuts, shorten that learning curve, give you insights, that's going to be the best and fastest way to doing anything. I had an interesting conversation with an individual that we met a few weeks ago. I think it was now. Maybe it was last week, actually. I think it was last week, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, right after our show. And dude, like, there are some ample crazy opportunities that you just don't even realize that never would have came about, never would have appeared in your life had you not been surrounding yourself with those people and in those communities. Think about it like this. Everybody, I'm assuming everybody's in a room right now of some sort, whether you're at the gym, whether you're on your couch in your PJs, or whether you're at the office grinding. Do me a favor real quick. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. And I want you to look around your entire room. Not right now. Not yet. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. I want you to look around your room. Okay, and I want you to count as many red things as you can. Okay, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, stop. How many of those things did you count? Put them in the chat. 4. Okay, 5, 3, 1, 0. Okay, now how many of those items were yellow? You're probably sitting here like, well, Jesse, I wasn't looking for yellow. I was looking for red items. Those yellow items, guys, represent opportunity. Okay, just because you weren't looking for them does not mean that they were not there. And when you acknowledge that, and when you've reprogrammed your brain to continuously start looking for opportunities like that, you're going to see them everywhere. And that stuff is only going to be amplified if you're doing it collectively. If you have everybody if you got 4 or 5, 10 friends that you guys are very close and very niche and very intentional with, I mean, just think about the possibilities are literally endless. So as you guys can see, that's Chris and mine's logo up in the top right-hand corner. Third Mind REI. Let me share something with you guys. Let me share why this is so important. I mean, important enough for us to even name our business after this concept, okay? So everybody knows who Napoleon Hill is. Let me read you guys a little blip out of Think and Grow Rich. Okay. And it's from a little thing called the mastermind principle. Okay. So the mastermind principle is the coordination of knowledge and effort between two or more people who work towards a definite purpose in a spirit of harmony. No two minds can ever come together without thereby creating a third, invisible, intangible force, which may be likened to a third mind. And that's why we named our business Third Mind REI. And just the possibilities are literally limitless when you are very intentional with the people that you are surrounding yourself with. There is an amazing book that was recommended to me, I think a couple weeks ago. And it's probably, I think I'm up to like maybe 33 books I've read this year so far. And this one is definitely in my top 5 of favorite books. And it is called Tribe of Millionaires. TOM, Tribe of Millionaires. Write it down. Go read it. It's an amazing book. I freaking love it. And it's got great information, but it's not written like an informational book. You know, probably like a lot of these self-development books that you read, it's not like informational. It's written kind of in a story with parallels and all these other kind of things. And it is such an amazing book, and it really puts things into perspective when it comes to your potential and how important hanging around the people that you want to be doing things with. And that is the community that Pace has built, and that's collectively what Chris and I are trying to provide for you guys as well. So again, I'm going to come back to my favorite I word, being intentional. Get in here, network. Every time you guys come into these Zoom meetings, or I guess we're not really on Zoom anymore, but every time you guys come into these meetings, Chris and I want you guys to be treating these meetings like you're going into a boardroom with other real estate professionals. Anytime you post on Facebook, think about this for a second. A lot of people don't think about this. People will post just some of the craziest stuff on Facebook. People that I know, people that are in real estate, people that I'm friends with. People post some of the craziest stuff on Facebook, and they don't, if they treated it, if they looked at it from a different perspective, if they looked at it like they were walking into, if you treated Facebook or some of these Facebook groups or some of these other communities you guys are a part of, if you treated them like a boardroom of other real estate professionals, you probably wouldn't say some of the stuff that you do. Like, think about it like this for a second. Chris is here. Christopher Earl. So he's getting set up. Let me finish this real quick. But think about this for a second. Think about how many times you get on Facebook and people, are complaining about whatever, dude. I mean, it literally could be anything. It could be sellers. It could be people that they've worked with in the past, or, man, I don't want to do this and I don't want to, whatever it is. Think about that. If that person was to walk into a boardroom with other real estate professionals and pretend like that, like social media or these communities that you're part of is the equivalent of going into a boardroom. Anytime you get on Instagram, anytime you get on Facebook, you're going to... What's going on, dude?
What's going on? Sorry about that.
I love you. Did you finish the war paint?
Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you fantastic.
Perfect. Yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties. I'm back in action. Had to restart the computer, and yeah.
Right on, brother. No, you're good. But think about this. You guys, every time you go on Facebook or Instagram, you treated it like a boardroom, okay? And every time you see a post, think of that as the equivalent of you're going around the table. Okay, it's Chris, it's Jesse, it's Angel, it's Grace, it's Freddie, and then you're going around the room, right? Everybody's taking turns, and you get that one turn. You get that one turn where everybody's going to see it, everybody's going to hear you, everybody's going to listen to what you have to say, and you take that as an opportunity to either criticize, condemn, or complain. Because that's essentially what you're doing. Anytime I see somebody do something like that, or Chris sees somebody do something like that, that is a dead cue for us. Like, okay, cool. We're not working with them anymore. Or we won't ever work with them, period. It's all about community. It's all about holding yourself to a higher standard. You tell people how you want to be treated. So anyway, all of this to say, guys, all of this to make a long story long, because I tend to do that. Here's what I want you guys to do real quick. Do me a favor, take a screenshot. Now, most people don't do this, but for the people that have, Chris and I have been able to help give them what am I trying to say here?
More so guidance.
Guidance, because we see people taking action. We see people wanting to be intentional with their time and to collaborate with each other and be a resource and take what they're learning and give that to people who are a chapter or two behind them. So here's what I want to do. I want to open this meeting up in an attitude of gratitude. Okay? And we want to bring other people into these meetings, into this community. Because for everything that we just got done talking about, there's so much power to be had in community and the people that you surround yourself with. And if you're trying to elevate your circumstances, if one person took an opportunity to invite somebody else in, I mean, think about the compounding and the snowballing effect that would happen. You would never have to leave these meetings. Everybody in these meetings, if you were just intentional with the people that you met in these meetings every single week and made an effort to meet somebody new from these meetings every single week, guys, you would have literally all the resources that you need. You would have money. You would have deals. You would have people to work with. You wouldn't ever have to go. You guys, by not doing it, make this so much harder on yourselves. Would you agree, Chris?
100%. 100%.
Go in there, take a screenshot, tag Carly, and then I want you guys to tag Pace, okay? And I want you to tell them, thank you for putting these on. Because Chris and I, when we first got started in real estate, nothing like this existed. I had to go pay $23,000 for another mentorship that was basically a bunch of recorded YouTube videos. And I put myself in a situation where I didn't even have $23,000. I maxed out 2 credit cards to do that. I wish something like this existed when I started joining, real estate communities and getting my feet wet.
Likewise.
So be intentional with it, guys. Don't let this go to waste. Treat this like a boardroom. Anytime that you guys go into a meeting, you go to a RIA, you go walk a fix and flip, you should literally go and approach everything with so much freaking intention that you know exactly what result you want to come out of that experience. Oh, Jesse and Chris are going live today. I want to meet with 10 other people that I have not met with. And I'm going to line up a Zoom later in the week with each of those 10 individuals. And then I'm going to figure out what are they doing in their business? Where's the bottlenecks? Where can I lead with value? And then it's up to you to take that and to go deliver on that. If you talk to somebody who is needing lending, for example, Chris and I do lending. Let us be a resource. Or whoever, anybody that you meet throughout that week that's like, oh yeah, I've got money set aside. I'm wanting to do lending, or I'm part of the Gator tribe or whatever. That's you leading with value, okay? Be interested and not interesting.
I love
that. With that said, let's kick this off, man. This is your guys' show today. And we want to go over some of the things. What questions do you guys have?
Angel, thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Angel, you are amazing. I freaking love Angel. We actually have a call a little bit later on a creative deal. So I'm pretty excited about that. Hopefully we'll get this one, get a good contract sent over or get it moved forward. Super, super awesome. You are amazing, Angel. We really appreciate you.
Guys, if you guys could do us a huge favor and go to the Creative Finance group. For some reason, the StreamYard is still not working in that specific group. Can you let them know they either go to one of the YouTube channels and or our personal Facebook channels if you can. That'd be greatly appreciated. We make sure next week that everything's back to normal, but we're not for sure exactly what's going on on the StreamYard end. Sorry about that, guys. But again, thanks for your patience. Angel, you're amazing. Can't wait to hear about this deal a little bit later. So I see Freddie's in the comments as well. Freddie, I think you was actually one of the ones that sent in a question. If you want, we can go over that question live right now if you're up to it. Let's see. And actually, I believe I have the questions here. It was one from Freddie. And let's do a double check right here. Yeah, Freddie. Okay. Yeah, but I have your question that you submitted in. I would love to see information about purchase agreement to make it assignable. So that is a pretty general question, which I don't mind answering. However, if you like to go into details, would you like to come on stage so we can talk to you and get more of an intimate setting?
Freddie, if you want, if you guys have a question that can't necessarily be answered in just a chat, that's okay. Shoot Chris and I a PM and let us send you the link, and we'll bring you guys on, and we can kind of have a little bit of a back and forth to make sure you guys have the clarity that you guys need to move forward and take action. That's why we're here.
So everyone on YouTube is going to receive the link. Go ahead and click that if you got a question that you would like us to deep dive on. In the meantime, Freddie, I would be more than willing to answer your question. So to make a contract assignable, 9 times out of 10, all the contracts are assignable unless you specify otherwise. Especially like the realtor ones, you actually have different options as far as assignable, non-assignable, or an assignable without releasing reliability of the contract. There's different verbiages that's in there depending on specific states. However, 9 times out of 10, all contracts are assignable, and or if you're not for sure, just put your LLC or your personal name. Always prefer to put your LLC on the buyer's line along with the wording and or assignee and or assigns. So you at least protect it. So even if it doesn't say it, it notifies all parties that, okay, you are going to sign the property, you're not the end buyer. But there's many workarounds. We can always have a conversation offline. We do a lot of transaction coordinating in all 50 states. We have successfully closed in over 14 states thus far. 15 in motion. So,
including Alaska, guys, and they said that it could not be done.
That is very true, including Alaska. So yeah, if you got any questions in regards to like TC and all that good stuff, but assignability, don't worry too much about that. Usually 9 times out of 10, if they're questioning your assignability, then you did build enough credibility and within your rapport. But that's a very good question. Let's see. Right before the challenge, I was giving up the child spirit grave. I would tell my family I was taking to California, heading to Georgia. I'm staying at home. I have no money coming in. What do you have to say about that, Jesse? What are your thoughts about that?
I can say that although I'm not a mom, I can resonate with that as a parent, as a human. You know, I shared this, I think it was earlier this week in another elephant challenge, but I'm such a big proponent. If you guys have been following Chris and I mean, Chris and I are both really into mindset, but I really take a very special affection for mindset. And I've gone through it. I've gone through it. For the longest time, I was the only sub-2 student in Alaska. Okay. Now this was right after, guys. This was right after I forked out 23 grand that I didn't have to join this other. I don't even know if you call it a mentorship, but I joined this other thing that ended up not being anything. And you can imagine my anxiety not having that money. Just put my family, I've got 4 kids, all under the age of 7. I just put my family in this financial crisis, I guess you could say. I'm sitting here trying to figure out, I don't even know how I'm going to get these credit cards paid off, you know? And you got all these people that are having these big real estate meetups in Florida and in Texas and the Carolinas and Arizona and Idaho and California and like all these places, man. And people are doing deals together. People are actually being intentional with their time. And yeah, and you got poor little Jesse just up here in Alaska who just went into a bunch of debt. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out what did I just do? So I understand what it's like to feel down, to feel like, and I'm taking some liberties here. I don't know if this is exactly how you're feeling, but I felt like I was a nobody. I felt like who am I? Who am I? How am I going to change my stars? How am I going to learn all this stuff? Because I grew up in an average household. I grew up in an average town in Ryrie, Idaho. It was an average school. I had average friends. I was completely average. Who am I to do all this stuff? Jesse's a nobody. And so just these mental battles that I would have with myself all the time. And then, like I said, being up here in Alaska, not really having a community up here at the time. I mean, it was devastating. It was the hardest thing in the world. And so I thought this was my ticket out, because at the time I was in the military and, I was tired of going on deployments. I was tired of going on TDYs. I was tired of constantly moving and doing all these things. And I thought this was going to be my ticket out. But then I started working on my mindset, and just to keep this shorter than I was going to, but I started thinking to myself, what if I could become that person I was capable of becoming? And then I started hearing different perspectives on people who were where I wanted to be. And I heard a story from Pace actually, probably a month or two ago, and I'll share this. I'll make this just really quick. But he said, imagine you're on your deathbed, and you're surrounded by your friends and your family, and everyone's just kind of sitting there crying, grieving, and you're just sitting there listening to the heartbeat monitor. Okay, and then the heartbeat monitor starts gradually slowing down. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. And then right when it's slowing down, the nurse comes in and she hands you a vial. And this vial will give you 1 extra day. And you're like, yes, give me that vial. And as you're about halfway down with that vial, the nurse then tells you, oh, by the way, it's not an extra day that you get. You have to go back and you have to relive a random day in your life. Now, you can't change anything. You have to relive it the exact way that it played out. It's almost like being just kind of a prisoner in your own head. You get to experience everything, but it's got to play out the exact same way. So hopefully on that day, you are doing something intentional. Hopefully on that day, you were spending time with your family. You took the time to spend time with your kids. You made love with your spouse. And those different thought-provoking stories kind of put me in a different mindset. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. Jesse's got to put the blinders on and do Jesse. So I don't know if you guys saw me today. Today I was up at like 2 a.m. on a Saturday. But nobody knows. I mean, I shared it today because I kind of had some thoughts going through my head that I wanted to share with everybody else. But normally, I mean, nobody knows. No one's awake. No one knows Jesse's awake at 3 a.m. typically hustling. I'm just up here doing me. But I know that me staying consistent and getting up and putting in the work, the byproduct of that is going to be accomplishing my dreams. I think, especially when it comes to this challenge, a lot of people think that, you know, whether your goals are to make, you know, 5,000 a month or 3,000 or 10,000 or 100,000. Sometimes when it comes to thinking about goals, you think about them that they're so big that they never get accomplished. I mean, I have big goals like that too, but what I found out, just to wrap this up, what I found out is that when you rearrange and you rethink about your goals and the things you're wanting to do to stay consistent for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones, and for the things that you're trying to do, you gotta make those small little pivots, those small little changes. And you got to start thinking about them in terms of that's my goal. That's my goal. So for me, just as an example, waking up at 3 a.m, if I can do that and I can stay consistent with it, I know that I'm going to get to work. And I go into it with that mindset, hey, no one's going to out hustle me. I'm here to win, and I will win at all costs. I know that if I approach it from that mentality and I just get up and I just shut up and I do the work, the success and the things that Chris and I are trying to do together, all of that is going to become a byproduct of me just pushing through it and doing it anyway and surrounding myself with the people that are doing what I want to be doing, which comes back to this community, guys. Got to be intentional. I don't know if I answered that question right, but hopefully it gave you some clarity or some direction.
Yeah, it's always guys, I see a lot of the comments, and guys, I see you squatting up, which is amazing. We all, what Jesse is stating right now, we can relate to what you guys are going through. We've been there. You know, we didn't just come from like here's a hand-me-down kind of situation. We worked to where we are right now, and we're still working. As you can see, Jesse right now, he's not 100%. Like he maybe got COVID. I don't mean to put you on blast. He maybe have COVID, but he's still here. He's still pushing, and he's treating this with intentional, because essentially he could have took the day off, right? But no, he still got up. He still got up and still moved forward. There's really a lot of people are filled with excuses in this day and age, right? You know, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. Oh, I'm just going to get another hour of sleep, or I can just do it tomorrow, or I can just do it next week, and versus just doing it right then and there. Now, I'm not just saying kill yourself and try to put yourself in that predicament, but this is a perfect example where he still shows up.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think a lot of people get discouraged because they aren't ready or able for whatever reason to match the drive of the people that they most like. Just need to make sure small. Yes, 100%. Small changes every day and make those small changes like very consistent becomes normal. Like it becomes very normal. It's like going to the gym. You really don't want to do it, but you want the easy way out. So essentially, like once you go to the gym, like start drifting like one every hour, it becomes very consistent. That's actually a perfect example of the 21-day fast I recently did a month or so ago, where I did not want to do the 21-day, but I did it. The first couple of days I struggled, but I kept pushing through, and it got to a point where it just became consistent, and every day then it got normal. Just a small change within your everyday life. Angel, 100%.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I totally agree with that. I think that's the reason why most people, fall off the wagon, so to speak, with what they're doing, is just because they're not willing to make these, like they let themselves get overwhelmed. Think about it like going to the gym. We'll just stick with the gym theme and all this kind of stuff, because we got Thanksgiving coming up, we got Christmas coming up, and then what happens at the first of the year? Everybody's putting out fitness goals, right? Everybody wants those six-pack washboard abs. So what ends up happening, just in short, is everybody goes to the gym. The first 2 or 3 weeks, it's packed. And then what happens? Everybody drops off because life happens. They get sore. They got stuff going on after work. They have to stay late for work. They've got ballet recitals and all these other kind of things going on, right? So by the time they get off work, and they're sore and they got all these things going on, they start telling themselves, look, I don't got time to go to the gym right now. Maybe I'll pick this up next month. Or let me give myself a little bit of a break. Let me heal, and then I'll pick this back up. Guys, that same thought process, your subconscious, that's programmed into your subconscious. And you don't even think about it. You get home from work, if you got a W-2 and you should be putting out 5 offers a day and you're like, man, I've got family, I got this, blah, 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 blah. Your subconscious is telling you, you know what, I'm going to take this week off. Like, I'm going to pick this up next week. That's the exact same reason why you're stuck in the exact same position. Because you're not being intentional. You're allowing these small things. So instead of thinking about it like this big, massive thing you got to undertake, like I've got to have buyers, I've got to submit offers every day, I've got to do the paperwork, I've got to blah, 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 blah. I got to contact title companies. You got to do all this stuff, right? It can be overwhelming. But the one thing, you just need to focus on one thing, guys. Just one. It's literally this simple. It's one thing. You need to focus on putting your 5 offers in every single day. And if you get home from work and you got all this stuff going on, then you need to get your ass up a little earlier.
Absolutely.
Everybody wants to be successful. Nobody wants to work for it. You guys need to put yourself in the CEO, in the mindset of being a CEO of your own multi-billion-dollar real estate investment firm. If you were to take on that title and have billions of dollars just in your account right now, are you really, when you got an entire organization and company that is depending on you, are you really going to tell yourself, oh, no, I can't get up at 4. I can't get up at 3. I can't do that. You guys got to realize you're going to be a millionaire and a billionaire in your head long before it ever manifests in its bank account. And it starts with these little things that we're talking about. So whenever you feel like you're getting discouraged because you don't have the drive or you don't have, whatever it is, it starts with these small changes. So everybody who's going to start going to the gym and getting their fitness on at the beginning of the year, instead of washboard abs being your ultimate goal, right? You need to rethink. You need to reprogram how you're thinking. Waking up at 4 a.m. to make sure that you get it in for the day and that it gets done before your day even starts. That should be the goal. That should be the goal. Waking up at 4 a.m., that should be the goal. And then guess what, guys? If you can do that and it just becomes a part of your day to where you don't even think about it, you just know 4 a.m. Okay, that's my goal. 4 a.m. That's my goal. Guess what? Washboard abs becomes the byproduct of getting your ass up into the gym at 4 in the morning. That's how it works. It just manifests itself like that. And in doing that and in being consistent, you're obviously going to get involved with other people who are doing fitness. You're going to meet and talk with other people who are, doing different dieting things, and you're going to learn all these different things about macro and micronutrients and how they affect your body and, all these kind of different things. And then that's when you start seeing your results compound. So just like here, just like coming to these meetings, if you're intentional with the people that are here and you're surrounding yourself with those people, that's going to be the biggest aid in your success. Thank you for the comment, Kevin. I appreciate the love, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to answer this one right here. We are streaming on Facebook as well on our personal pages, YouTube, the Elephant Challenge Show, which is a separate YouTube channel. Again, sorry for those who joined in late. Specifically, we had a technical difficulty with our StreamYard, so we wasn't able to stream within the group. So we did still proceed, but sorry for the delay on that one. But Angel, we definitely appreciate you, man. Kevin, thanks for the kind words as well. And Danielle, I love this challenge. Sub 2 family and pace. I know my life is about to take a serious shift. 100%, man. When I say the words can't really describe the changes that happened in my life over the last 2 years, just even starting to build business and not just one. I got several businesses right now, and they're all doing well, right? And the fact of a lot of people don't know, like even my previous, I guess they're acquaintances now, but my old friends and family members, my current family members, they don't know what I do, right? They think I'm in real estate, which is phenomenal. And Jesse and I have a lot of conversations about that because yes, we have our business, but when people hear about real estate, the first go-to is they're a real estate agent, right? They don't know a lot about the investing side. They don't know that you can buy a business and all these different things, but there's so many different avenues you can go, and a lot of people just don't know. But when I joined Sub 2, my life changed. Like as Jesse said, he spent about $23,000. I spent money as well in other mentorships, which I'm not going to mention. You guys may not know, but I was joined 2 other mentorships before PACE. And if I would have stayed in those mentorships, I'd probably be struggling. full disclosure, full disclosure, I'd probably be struggling, right? It's just a matter of when I joined Pace, my business skyrocketed, and not just because of Pace. Yes, Pace built the mentorship, but the community behind it. Now I can close a transaction all 50 states easily, comfortably, without even thinking about it. I'm fearless. Like there's not a lot when it comes to real estate and doing transaction. It's not a lot of different things I get nervous about, scared of, or what that may look like because I have a community behind me, and not just me, but us as a business as well. And Jesse and I got here because of the community. We built our entire business. A lot of people don't understand. We built it based off the book Who Not How, and we utilize that principle. And where we got technically an ovation going on in Alaska, which we're dealing with those obstacles in regards to like contractors and all that good stuff. But it's always a learning process. These are great things we want to go through. We want to fail because these are things we want to teach you and coach, guide, develop, and things we don't want you to go through. And although it may not seem like it's good at this specific time, going through these hiccups, but 100%, we look for those things. Every day we look for those things. Like, what is the next obstacle that's going to come across our way? Where this is great. Now we know we can teach our team and guide them on how not to do what we did. And a lot of people understand, like, just go in there and just do it. Create chaos. Create so much chaos where you don't know what you could do. Like, if you make those 5 offers and the agent gives you a call back and say, we accept all 5 offers, don't panic. Give us a call. Give us a call. We can guide you through the next step. And again, within our business, we can do transaction coordinator. We can help with the lending aspect, whatever that may look like. There's so many different things we can help you, but I just don't want you guys to panic. We created our business based off obstacles we went through in the past, and now we trying to proceed to give you guys the opportunity not to go through that direction. But Daniel, that was great. I can't wait till you join, and I guess I'm gonna speak to the existence. Welcome to the family.
Yes, I love that, bro.
Let's see. That's where I'm at. I will put you speak down. Love that.
Let's go, Freddie. Let's go, man.
At my piano. Luke, actually, I do want to speak to Luke. I think Luke is actually here. Is Luke?
Yo, bring him on! Bring him on!
Let me see, Luke.
Yo, there he is!
There he is. What's going on, man?
Torpedo, Batman.
Hey, things are good. You two are good.
How has things been for you, man? I know you recently started doing the elephant challenge, and I know you got some exciting news. But actually, for those who don't know you, introduce yourself and let them know exactly where you are in your business and other things you're doing outside. I know you into big fitness and all that good stuff. I'm gonna let you explain that.
Luke, share your story the last couple of weeks. Like I do, like because I think there's a lot of people that can resonate with this. If you're looking at the comments and reading what people are saying, what people are experiencing and going through, I think you would be a fantastic example on how you bridged and overcame some of those obstacles, and that led to where you are today.
Right. 1 second.
Yeah, you're good, brother.
Yeah. So let's see here. I've been doing real estate, I guess, for a long time, but not doing, right? Just kind of consuming a lot of content, paid for a lot of mentorships. Yeah. And then found out about Pace not too long ago, joined the Elephant Challenge and everything like that. Got privy. But then hate making phone calls. Absolutely terrifying. So it's like, you can't make deals if you're not making phone calls. So
how long were you in the Elephant Challenge before you decided, man, I hate making phone calls, but I've got to make some phone calls?
Like a month, 2 months almost. No,
okay,
at least a month. And then I've made a couple here and there, and they were terrible. It was horrible. I didn't know what to ask. I was asking basically whatever they had in the description of on Privy already.
Well, let me ask you, what was the thought process? What was the turning point? Where was the pivot? You joined this challenge, and you're just sitting in the back seat for 2 months.
Yeah.
What happened? Well, what happened to where you were like, okay, now I've got to make this phone call? What was going through your head?
It was more of just a mindset change. I started reading David Goggins' book again. I've read it before, but I picked it up again. They Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins.
All hail Father Goggins.
And so for that, it was just more of a mindset change. Getting my diet back on track, getting the weightlifting back on track. I mean, I was always going to the gym. I'll never not go, but it's more of like not being intentional with progress, right? You stick at the same weight for so long. And then my buddy started coming with me to the gym, and now we're throwing up massive amounts of weight just because the amount we push each other now. Like my nervous system is shot today because we were doing sets at 350 on squats. It was way too heavy. I can't think straight anymore today. And so just you reflect back on how I came to this point. Like I was never the smartest person in school, but I went, busted my ass, got an engineering degree. Everyone's like, "Oh, you got an engineering degree. You must be super smart." No, not really. Just instead of drinking, I went to the library, right? That's how I got the engineering degree. And then just got full-time job, and then just busting my ass, got to 6 figures, thought that once I got to 6 figures, that'd be the end goal, right? And I was like, well, this isn't shit. And then it was like, I was getting into real estate and, reading about everything you can do in real estate. And then I was like, here we go. Now let's get this 100K a year to 100K a month. Man, how do you do that? And then I've always had this thought in my head of like, get to 100K a month. How do you do that? And then there's also the mindset of just sitting at work, like just finishing up projects, made them millions of dollars, and like sitting there on to the next project, right? Like it doesn't matter. It's like, well, this is stupid. Like I don't want to be here. So I typed up my resignation letter and I scheduled it. Well, the first one was scheduled for 2024. And I was like, and then I talked to you guys and I was like, screw this. I made it 2023. So that's my plan. And I look at it every day. And it's basically, I'm scared to make phone calls, but I'm more scared of being average.
Dude, I freaking love that. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. Thank you for being vulnerable and open and transparent. Because even with a lot of the stuff that you were saying, dude, like I can resonate with that. You know, I grew up in an average household. I had average grades, man. I legit, no kidding. For the majority of my life, I legit thought this. I thought there was dumb people and there were smart people, and I was somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Nobody ever taught me how to get in there and how to study and that, hey, I could do these things. I thought for my entire life that I would struggle and that I was not that person that was capable of doing these big and amazing things and helping people. And so I love that you shared that. Thank you, because I feel like I can definitely resonate with that. And I feel like there's a lot of people watching that can also resonate with that, you know, and some of those thoughts are the only thing that's keeping people from moving forward, is because they don't think that that's the type of person they can become. And those thoughts are literally what's holding you back. The only thing that's holding you back. You don't need money. You don't need nothing. So anyway, continue real quick, because we talked a few weeks ago, and the first time we talked, you said, Jesse, I'm excited. I'm getting ready to put in my first offer next week.
Yep.
And what happened?
I put in 15. I didn't hit 25, but I was pissed.
Still now you have a family and stuff like that, right? But listen, dude.
Yeah, I got
that's 15 more than you were trying to go into the week with.
Yeah,
14 more.
Yep.
That's crazy, bro. And you did it with a family. You did it, you know, with the W-2 and all these different things. You made time for it.
Yep. And I haven't missed a time yet I mean, the first freaking day, I really didn't want to do it I hit the time block. I got 5 properties on Privy. I spent a little more than half an hour on it, like my block says, and I was like, I need to get 5. So I was like, don't bother me at work. You put your dot to red, it bothers you. And then I found like a couple more. I was like, yes, I did. I got 5, and then it was just a busy day at work, and I got home, and I was just worn out, and then started getting migraines and stuff. I get that every now and then, and so I was like, I don't want to call. And I was like, this is the first freaking day. Like, if I don't hit it on the first day, I might as well just dig my freaking grave. Like, I'm never going to become anything. So I turned off the lights, and then I dialed on the phone, called 5 inches. The conversation sucked. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, I closed these deals, and when I didn't want to. No, none of them they're not even good offers. They're absolute crap. They made sure to let me know that they were not good, but I just don't care. So
you dive into this, bro. You're taking massive action. You're putting offers in, and you typed up your resignation letter.
Yes.
And you went from 2 years out to 6 months out.
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, what are you thinking? What's going on in your head right now? How do you pivot? Because that's a lot of what people are asking is like, hey, what if I don't have the motivation that some of these people have? Like, how do I make this pivot? What is your thought process?
I would
when you say you're reading books and me and you talk all the time, we're sending each other back and forth these different, motivational things and different, concepts and things like that to think about that spark thought and imagination. Like, what is it? Like, give us some insight here. Give us something tangible or a thought or something like that everybody can take with them and be like, oh my gosh, wow, this makes so much sense. I can resonate with this. Let me try this out so I can pivot like Luke did.
I will say, first off, motivation is shit. It'll leave. Like, you can be motivated, but then the next moment you won't have it. So what's more important is discipline. And I got my time blocks, and I know what I have to do in those time blocks, and I make sure I am focused and I hit it. It may not be the best performance every day, but you go to the gym. I can't, I'm not going to be able to squat. My legs are freaking shot. I'm not going to go squatting on Monday, right? Like, it's just shot, but I'm still going to go. Maybe not squat, but I'll probably squat. But that's just because I've been lifting since 7th grade. But it's more of the discipline that you need to make sure that you're hitting it every day.
I love that.
A routine, because sometimes you'll have the motivation and the discipline, and then that's a dangerous combo.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, this morning I found a badass property that could be an Airbnb. And I met a private money lender. We used to live together, and now he lives in Florida full time. But he knows I'm in real estate, and we were talking. He's like, "You're gonna be he's very successful already, right?" And he's like, and I was like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna quit my job in 2023." And he's like, he called me. He's like, well, you better fucking do it, or I'm not talking to you or giving you any money.
Pressure's on.
So, yeah. So, recently he's agreed to, he wants to get into real estate, with me passively. He wants to do no work, basically, is what he said. I was like, great. Sounds like
that's perfect. I love those
PNL.
people.
Yeah. I'm like, that sounds great.
Beat me up, Scotty.
Yep. And I'm sending them examples of deals and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, this is sweet. Right. Stuff like that. So
that was just, is this the private money lender you met at the gym, correct?
Yeah. I became friends with him just a year ago. No one, when I was first starting real estate, he's jacked, so I just asked if he competed, right? And he's like, no. And then after that, we just became friends. So
I just want to touch on that really. That's actually just having a simple conversation. I don't think you guys caught that. Just having a simple conversation with someone could lead to your next private money lender. Whether they have $10,000 or $100 million, $100 million. It's just a matter of Jesse and I. We have a lot of conversation with people, and we actually shocked the amount of money people actually have liquid, just sitting there. Just need something. Just need someone just to either park their money somewhere. And there's so much opportunities out here. Just a matter of a lot of people they either afraid to have that conversation. Now, I'm not just saying like go out there and just say, hey, how much money do you have? Understand, guide the conversation and just have a simple conversation about, what they're looking to do, what the future beholds as far as what they're looking. You just never know. I personally met a private money lender literally a couple of weeks ago over the phone. It was actually the listing agent who was actually trying to help sell her client's house. She's liquid $3.4 million. Now that becomes my money. So in the fact of, yes, we had that the initial conversation was about the client, trying to buy their house, but at the same time, we did another opportunity approach, and then literally I just walked through that specific door. A lot of people want to see that kind of conversation, or try to give that agent or realtor a call back just to have that conversation, but I didn't approach it right then and there, but I did call them back a couple of days later just to have that conversation with her. And she was extremely open, 3.4 liquid. She's been a realtor for over 27 years. It's just a matter of you just never know. You just never know. And Jesse and I, like we technically buy anything we want. Full disclosure, we can buy anything we want. Matter of just being picky, right? We're just not going to buy anything and everything, right? But at the same time, we got to make sure the margins work out and the numbers make sense. But at the same time, those are kind of conversations you need to have in order to be able to take down a lot more properties. Are you able to do it yourself? 100%. But at the same time, it's great where the liquid cash and or those individuals behind you ready to move their money. But I like that you met this specific private money lender at the gym. I think that's phenomenal. A lot of people go to the gym on a daily basis and don't have conversations. They probably just put their headphones in, get on a treadmill or lift weights without saying a word, but you just never know. You just never know. But I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, it's actually super easy to make friends at the gym. If you go at the same time every day, you just become friends with everyone. It's just natural.
It goes back to community, guys. What have we been saying this entire freaking time? How do you open up a conversation? What's the best way to open up a conversation with somebody at a gym? Hey, bro, can you spot me? we're basically best friends now. We're doing karate in the garage with each other. You know what I mean? Like when you're in these communities, like what a perfect segue to talk to somebody. My physical therapist got to talking to him about real estate, and now he wants to lend too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started going to different gyms just to meet private money lenders.
That's one way to do it. I like that.
I went to a CrossFit gym. Never done CrossFit in my life, and I've just met so many people there. And maybe I'll go back again to nurture some of the relationships and get into real estate then. But it's not
love it, bro.
Not my scene. I'd rather
love it.
Cardio.
Let's talk about this for a second. Julie asked an amazing question. A day in your life. What's it look like, any of you? I can tell you one thing that we all do, but you kind of want to go around. Do you want to answer that? What does that look like for you, Luke? What's a day in your life?
Wake up at 4:20.
Why 4:20?
Because I need 10 minutes to make my pre-workout, eat my granola bar, and get into my car.
Oh, it's not 4:20 related. Got it. Okay.
So, I mean, it's just a weird thing I have for the gym. I just started setting my alarm and then doing 10 minutes earlier just to I like to take those 10 minutes to you kind of wake up your mind. You put in an audio book or something, read a little bit right when you get to the gym, get your mind right. And that's where I listen to David Goggins. And then like you and Chris, sometimes I'll send these David Goggins things. This is what I'm doing during my ramp up period, right? Is these videos.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So that's why 4:20, and then lift.
Real quick. I just wanted I didn't mean to cut you off, but I thought that was something that was really neat. You set your alarm 10 minutes before you typically would. Now, most people probably didn't pick up on that. But I just want to hit on that really quick because listen to that. He set his alarm 10 minutes earlier than he typically would, just to give himself a little bit more time, just to prepare the day, just to get into the right mindset, right zone. Okay? Now think about that. What if you applied that little concept, that little pivot, guys? That's just a simple thought into everything that you guys are doing. One more. There's an amazing book by Ed Milet, The Power of One More. And it's all about literally what Luke just said. It is literally life-changing. Tip $1 more than you typically would. Do one more rep in the gym than you typically would. Make one more phone call than you typically would. That's just so amazing. Sorry, I needed to hammer down on that right there, dude, because I freaking love that you said that. So anyway,
Yeah.
Go on. So you get to the gym.
Yeah, get to the gym, lift, then shower, go to the work. On the way to work, I listen to audiobooks. A lot of Chris Voss, Adam Sandler, Who Not How. And then get to work. I usually hop on Mario Zoom. Make sure you come to Mario Zoom, his Zoom sessions, because I have so much more confidence talking on the phone because of what I've learned from Mario. And he has a huge heart, right? He really is there to help. So he'd kill me. I just said, so that's one thing that we're working on. Like, we're supposed to pause. So instead of saying, pause in a conversation, and I'm very bad at it, but now I can actually pick up when I actually say, so I'm working on just pausing.
Amazing, bro. That's
takes
awesome.
some
Just
work.
1% better every day, right? That's
Right.
freaking dope. And for everybody who doesn't know, real quick, Super Mario is another elephant leader. His meetings are 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern time. Did he change it? I know they were switched up for this last week. Are they still switched up, or are they going back to normal? Do you know?
I believe they're going back to normal next week because of the holiday, if I'm not mistaken. I think Super Mario may be in here. But I know on Tuesdays and Thursdays they were doing literally live calls, which I thought was phenomenal.
Amazing.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Monday
then,
through Friday, you got that support there with Super Mario. Amazing individual. Biggest heart. Yeah, like you said, Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome dude. So anyway.
And so then start working. I work as an engineer. So I don't have a lot of downtime, right? It's not really at my computer all day either. So it's working as an engineer. Then at 12 o'clock, I have a time block in my work schedule in every calendar to search Privy for deals. So I go on Privy, search for deals, and even I'm still even trying to get into the mindset of, even if it doesn't look like a deal on Privy, I only have so much time. If I found this house and I realized, this isn't going to be a great deal, I should still put it on my list and make the call, because you really never know. And because my time is so precious that I shouldn't. That's something I'm starting to get better at, because before I'd find one, it's like, no, it's not a deal, and move on. And all of a sudden I've only found one property, and it's like, well, that won't do. So even if it doesn't look like a deal, make the call anyway. And then even if it's not a good deal, ask the agent if he has any pocket listings, or if he comes around any investor friendly homes, or if he knows any homes with low equity, something like that, right?
Yep.
So then even if it's not a good deal, I can still have someone to call. And then after that, go back to work until between 4:30. And then I have a hard out at 4:30 that I'm in now. Like, I straight up told my boss, you keep me past 4:30, I'm quitting. Like, I got to go make some money. So he knows I'm in real estate and stuff now. So then at 4:30 I leave. It's about a half-hour drive. So then listen to the audiobook again for half an hour, get home, and start making calls to the list I have for 1 hour, make the calls, and then eat dinner, play with the kids, put the kids to bed. And then once the kids go to bed for half an hour, I'm writing up the LOIs and sending those out. And then it's about 8. I try to get the kids in bed by 7:30. So then 7:30 to 8, writing LOIs, sending them out. And then from 8 to 8:30, I like to read, stretch, or like audiobook and stretch right before bed. And then I go to sleep at 8. Usually it actually ends up being like 9, just because sometimes it's not exactly time. But then I try to get close to 8 hours. It rarely happens, especially because kids wake you up in the night and
right.
You're
Dude,
not.
I love that. I freaking love that. You have a guy who has a W-2. He's basically Bill Nye the Science Guy. He's doing some awesome stuff. And yeah, made a heart stuff. And he's doing this like no excuses. What are you putting in? I know you said you put 15 offers in on that first week. What are you up to on an average now? Are you still kind of averaging 15?
Yeah, it's about 3 a day because I'm trying to get to 5 in that half-hour period.
I say a day a week
with the comping.
Yeah,
it's sometimes I can get 5 in a day if I take a little extra time, but usually I can hit 3 in half an hour pretty easily.
Okay,
on the dot.
Okay. So dude, why don't you have we got people watching this on YouTube and on Facebook. I guarantee somebody in their day has an extra hour to help you get 2 more of those in. What do you have to lose?
I'll call them. I have no fear now. I'll call anyone.
Not doing that. So what do you need? What do we need for you to be able to get 5? Do you just need somebody else to go into Privy and to find those deals and to comp them and then send you the information so you can call the realtor?
Yeah, just 2 more.
Guys,
I'll call them.
That's it.
Guys,
I have.
This is literally this easy, guys. If anybody has an hour out of their day to find 2 more properties for Luke every single day, and then you can email Luke those properties, and Luke will make the phone calls. Luke will build a relationship with the title companies and with the agent, and then you guys work those together. And then guess what? When you get it under contract and you need somebody to TC, Chris and I can do that. Or if you need buyers, Chris and I can do that. If you need earnest money, whatever, we can help you with literally everything. But there's no excuse for everybody in here to not be doing 5 offers a day. As you guys just see, we literally just got Luke to that. Luke, you're going to get 5 every day next week now, right?
I mean, if people are willing to help, we can do more than 5. Like,
let's do it then. Let me introduce you. I'll introduce you to Angel afterwards, since she's.
I know Angel.
Oh, you know Angel?
Oh, there you go.
She's in the Mario group. She's a stud.
Yep. She's amazing. So
this is perfect. I'm sorry to cut you off, Jesse.
Nope, go ahead.
AB, is it AB? I'm sorry, guys. If you could put your first name, last name, that'd be perfect. But Mr. and Mrs. Dawson, can I JB with you, Luke?
Yeah.
How can people reach out to you?
How should everybody reach out to you, Luke?
I put my cell phone number in the picture. It's not showing up now, I think, because of the comment. But yeah, 763. Oh man, that's embarrassing. I was trying to put my IG too, but I just typed my cell phone number again.
No worries. Allison, thank you for doing that. So Allison would like to JB with you. Allison, his number is right there. His Instagram is also not as
Angel. You want to shoot Luke a text as well?
If you follow me on IG, you're probably going to get David Goggins videos. So just beware.
We're in right company then.
Perfect. Thanks, Allison. Freddie, what a great idea. Nice. Let's see. Renee. So I did want to answer Renee's question. Renee, you had a phenomenal question. I think you sent it over to Jesse, if I'm not mistaken. It was in regards to what's a title, what's deed, what's a loan. I'm assuming that you probably asked a question just to get familiar with the verbiage or terminology within real estate. That's totally fine. But I just needed clarity on exactly what your question was specifically.
Do you want it, Chris? Do you want to just kind of go over maybe what the difference is?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what.
And then if it's not that, she can kind of clarify a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So Renee, it was Renee Lundy who asked the question. Her question was actually, I think I have her.
And while Chris is pulling this question up, guys, look, if this is entirely for you guys. This show today is all dedicated to you guys. If you guys have questions, you guys have things that you need. Look, we brought Luke up just now, and we're like, Luke, what are you doing? And he took us through his entire day, and he's putting in 15 offers a week, so he's not at quite 5 offers a day. But we literally just solved that in 3 seconds.
100%.
And we're gonna do now. He's gonna do more than 5 every single day.
So Renee Lundy, if I'm mispronouncing your last name, sorry about that. Renee Lundy, her question was, who holds loan, title, and deed, and the legal difference between all three? So all three are different. I do got to say all three are definitely different. The title is basically a legal concept of like more so the ownership of the property, and more so the deed is like the transfer of ownership. And the loan specifically, technically you don't own that loan, it's the bank. Like if you got $100,000 loan for Wells Fargo, technically it's their loan. Your name is on it, but in reality they own it. All three are not in. They're all conjunctions when it comes to real estate, but all three are separate. Because a lot of people think, okay, I have title and I have deed, but in reality, sometimes you don't, especially if it's not paid off. Like, let me ask you this, Jesse, specifically for you, like, are you financing your vehicle right now?
Yes.
So do you technically own the vehicle?
Technically not.
And who would own that? You think the bank, or who owns that vehicle?
Probably the bank.
So that's like a perfect example, guys. Like the bank owns a lot of stuff that we have, even like a credit card, right? We're technically walking out with the groceries, but in reality, we owe somebody the expense of those groceries. I hope that was clear enough, but I know it looked like you had some back contact behind the questionnaires, maybe some legalities behind that, but I'll be more than willing to actually go through that with you if you're able to hop on. I'm trying to find the link. So I just sent the link out. Just if you want to hop on, just let us know, and we can go over that specific question for you. But yeah,
Grace had a question. Did you see this one, Chris?
My concern is making sure I have the right language in the contract. That is a lot of people concerns. A lot of people concerns. That's I want to say out of the top 3, that's like number 2. I want to say that's the biggest one, because essentially a lot of wholesalers, they think they send a contract out is all be all kind of thing. But essentially, if you don't got the right verbiage and the contracts, especially in certain states, your contract is kind of non-void. You can spend a lot of time and energy filling out a contract, but you submit it over, and sometimes it's not a valid contract because either a couple of things, you're missing specifics like who's paying for this or who's paying for that, or there's initials going down the contract, but there's missing signatures on the page. I live in New York. New York is attorney state. There's a lot of different specifics, rules, regulations that we need to abide by, and we have to make sure there's a lot of different things on there. For us to work in all 50 states, which Jesse and I, we do work in all 50 states, we had to get familiar with the verbiage. We had to get familiar with the paperwork. We had to get familiar with different things. We're still learning on a day-to-day basis, which is phenomenal. You know, it's great knowledge, great experience as far as new counties and all that good stuff. Perfect example. I'm actually working on one in Milwaukee. I had another, I wouldn't say student, but another individual specifically say, you know, this is attorney state. You got to know which one's actually attorney state and which ones are not attorney state. Technically, Milwaukee is a title state, technically. And you can actually utilize attorney to close your transaction versus New York. You have to use an attorney. You can't use a title company here. We don't have title companies. Are they local? 100%. But you have to use for the seller side attorney, and for the buyer side, you need attorney as well. And depending on who the attorney is, sometimes you can have dual representation, or you may need an attorney for the wholesaler. So there's a lot of different things you must know. But Grace, you're saying you have a wholesale contract from Pace Challenge. Are there others? 1,000,000% yes. There's so many contracts out there from Pace. However, if you're not in this community, we're not going to give that out. The only contract you should have is the Gator. If you're in the Gator tribe, you may have that specific contract. But if you have the initial wholesale contract, I would love to give you that one out. Because Pace did make that free to the public, because he is trying to standardize the initial cash wholesale contract in all 50 states. And that's something that him, Jerry Norton, Max Maxwell, Cody Sperber, and a couple other individuals are working on to try to just have one kind of centralized contract so everyone is familiarized with it. But of course, you're going to come across some attorneys who don't like to change or not open-minded to change and all that good stuff. Is it like hooking up to confirm the contract? Good. Send it, and I'm good. I'll see a couple weeks there. Yes, I think that's, if on the safe side, if you want to put somebody, like for instance, if you can reach out to myself or Jesse, like, hey, can you review this contract before I send it out? 100%. I would love to do that. We actually just did it the other day, right, Jesse? We just did it the other day.
We did. I think it was yesterday, actually.
Yep. It was one over in I believe it's Indianapolis, if I'm not mistaken. But
yep.
Yeah, 100%. We do it all the time. If you need TC work, that's a different conversation. But in regards to reviewing a document or something like that, 100%, we can review it all day, let you know what stuff we can put in there. There's a lot of verbiage you need in there. There's a lot of contracts out there specifically won't let you sign the contract. And a lot of realtors won't let you do so because, one, they've been burned by wholesalers, and a lot of wholesalers that, let's face it, guys, wholesalers is a bad name. It's a bad name. It's a matter of how we, adapt to it and actually overcome these kind of conversations. That's why it's good to always build rapport, credibility, and all that good stuff. And your name means everything. Like literally, Jesse and I, the way we do things, we make sure it's done with intentional, because essentially we don't want to mess up our reputation. Sebastian, I'm also looking for someone to send me comps to make more phone calls of someone. This is perfect. Sebastian, thanks for posting that. There's a lot of people in the comments that want to squat up. This is a perfect opportunity to put your names, not your name, your numbers, your Instagrams, whatever your social media may be, but put it out there. Squat up with each other, work with each other, and make money. And if you guys both have questions about something that you have on that specific deal, bring it to Jesse and I, and we can promise you we can get it to the finish line for you.
That's why we're here. You guys need help calling sellers and agents and closing deals and snapping necks and cashing checks, man. That's why we're here. That's what we do, baby. We're here to win. We're here to freaking win. Let's go. Why aren't we working together?
I'll also see with the contract thing. That was one of my biggest fears. I spent probably a month reading a bunch of different contracts. A month of just reading contracts. It was terrible because I just a perfectionist. And then basically my strategy now is the LOI isn't really anything. Like it's almost the same as like an over the phone offer, right? So then you send the LOI, and if they agree to it, then get the contract from like Jesse or Chris, right?
Yeah. LOIs, so. A lot of people look for LOIs, but at the same time, contracts, spend the time I can relate to what you just stated, because when I first got in the industry, I failed at contracts. I had an initial attorney who used to say, I can't use this contract. I can't do this, to find out they're just not experienced. And not just that, they wasn't willing to teach me their way of doing things if I wanted to pursue to work with them in the future, right? And so I had to adapt to that and actually overcome and really start deep diving and understanding exactly, if I really want to learn how to do transaction coordinated work, I do got to understand there's going to be different legalities in each county, not just state, but each county. That's a big thing. A lot of people don't understand. They may use one standard contract, but some counties may have some different things that need to be put in the contract. And I literally took the time specifically to learn that. And it got to a point where I'm just going to go out there and create chaos. And every time I went out there and created chaos, I learned much faster, and I learned where it stayed within me. Like, I guarantee I won't ever make that mistake again, right? So those kind of things is a great thing to have. But I think that's, when it comes to contracts, just be careful, guys. Just because you sign, people always ask me, can you sign a contract on like a napkin? 100%. If there's two signatures on there, you can sign it. That's a completed contract. Allison asks, what's the best way to contact you for looking over contracts? Either whatever is best. Either my Instagram, email, thirdbindrei@gmail.com. Whatever is easier for you. If you want to send a contract over, I prefer email. What markets are we doing the elephant challenge in? We're doing the elephant. Initially, the elephant challenge is within Florida market. However, our business model, we do it all 50 states, to answer your question. So when we started off a couple months ago, we were just based in Florida. and then now we expand it to all 50 states because we want to make sure everyone's being taken care of, and not just that, we want to make sure everyone has a resource. Yes, it's just it's Jesse and I, but at the same time, we will make time to make sure you're not left behind. Just be patient. If we don't respond to a text right then and there, just give us some time, or shoot us a nudge like, hey, just question or whatever that may look like. But just please be patient. But 100%, all 50 states, we want to make sure everyone's being taken care of and getting their first deal, if not their 100th deal, whatever that may look like.
100%. Yeah, Chris and I are here to make sure that you guys get your first deal, and then your second deal and third deal, and get that traction, that clarity, and everything that you guys need. We don't want you to feel overwhelmed. We've had a lot of questions about contracts, and like Chris said, that's the second highest question that we ever get is regarding contracts. Listen, if you guys know that you're not good at contracts and you don't want to be good at contracts and it's just not a good use of your time, guess who does contracts? And then you guys can just go focus on putting more offers. If worrying about contracts and the wording and all that other stuff is keeping you guys from staying consistent, is keeping you guys from putting in 5 offers a day, then I would let somebody else do the contracts. And I would go focus on making more calls and getting in more offers every day and building those relationships. As you just saw with Luke, he doesn't have the time. You either have more time or you have more money. And those are the people that you go freaking partner with, man. If you don't got the time, go partner with somebody else who has the time. If you don't have time to worry about contracts and paperwork, go find somebody else to work with who does that. Chris and I are here to help in any way that we can. We want you guys to be successful, and like Chris said, man, we're doing stuff in all 50 states. So it doesn't matter what. Chris, how did you? Oh, did you send that on your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, I got all excited, man. Oh, dang, that's cool. Anyway, yeah, I digress. We're here to help in any way that we can, guys.
Absolutely. And yeah, Josh, with the new time zones, and yeah, we're Eastern Standard Time. Sorry. We're supposed to start at 1:30 every Saturday, Eastern Standard Time. However, today we started around 1:45-ish due to technical difficulties with StreamYard. We're still working to get that fixed. Next week it will be up and running. I know it's a holiday week, so it's not going to stop us from doing anything. I know Thanksgiving's on Thursday, Black Friday's Friday, and Saturday we're back to normal. The business still got to run. And I want you guys, and that's a perfect. I want to touch on this a little bit. A lot of people develop excuses during the holidays, right? I'm not saying you have to work on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Thanksgiving, anything like that, but I do know people, and I'm not going to mention their name. They would take weeks off during the holidays, and then so I'll just start doing this when I come back. That those individuals, I don't distance myself from them, but at the same time, I know how much business I'm potentially going to do with them, right? Like Jesse and I know we're going to make millions of dollars and create a legacy for our family. We're not too far from it, to be honest. And it's just the fact of, I think Jesse stated it earlier about, it's who you surround yourself with. People, I know Jesse and I, Jesse could definitely relate. We know people that literally, they would get a $10,000 check today and relax. And literally relax. And they wonder why, 2-3 months, they're back in the same situation, trying to find their next deal. And as we call it, either the assignment breath. So.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Chris got kicked off, man, right in the good part.
yeah, he was cooking.
We'll pick it up next week, guys. Dang it. We'll see if he jumps back in here. That was going to be good. But yeah, guys. Yeah, you want to, I don't know, man. Like the way that I picture it, I heard, and David Goggins has actually kind of shared this story as well. And that's where Luke and I really vibe, man, is we're really big into mindset. If you guys already know, just coming in here. But he told a story. If you guys haven't heard it, I'll share it with you real quick, because I think about it all the time. But I think about it like when I die and I'm hopefully making up to heaven and I'm standing there in line, kind of like take a ticket and wait in a deli line. And you see God up on his throne and you're in line waiting for your turn to go talk to God. And the line's moving up. Boom. You finally get your chance. You're standing there And then God has a book, right? He's got a sheet of things that he's going through, things that you did in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly, the people that you helped out, the people that you were dismissive of, right? He's going through everything that you did in this life. And then when he wraps up, he introduces another gentleman standing to his right. And he says, Jesse, this is Jesse. Jesse, this is the person that you could have become. So then he opens up the book and he starts going through all the things that I could have done, that I should have done. Different ways I could have helped out my family, the different ways I could have retired my parents, the amount of people that, coming on here. And hopefully you guys are getting value from this and we're helping you guys out. So if I were to die and me meeting the person that I died, the person that I'd become, if I was to meet the person who I could have became and learned all those things that I could have done and all those things that I could have achieved, that would be just an absolute hell to me, knowing that I would never, ever, ever get the opportunity to come back and do that again. So that would be an absolute hell for me. And so just going back to what Chris was saying, you need to be super intentional. What's the cost of not doing it? What's the cost of taking the day off? Are you being all that you can be? Because you got this other Jesse that's in this alternate universe. This is what he's doing. And I need to make sure that him and I are as parallel as we can be. And as soon as I decide to stop and Netflix or take a day off, this is what happens to me. The other Jesse keeps going up. And then I'm like, oh man, and then I go back to the gym, right? And then I start making calls or whatever. Now we're parallel again. But you see what's happened? We're drifting further and further apart. So in my head, any given second, I'm always thinking about that. Like, all right, what is the other Jesse doing? All right, I'm not going to put Seinfeld on right now because I know Jesse's out grinding. Jesse's out building relationships. Jesse's out building businesses. Jesse's out building, all these different things. So I always have that just in the back of my mind. I love that. Yes, he will ask you what you did with the gifts that I gave you. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that.
I'm back, guys. So sorry about that.
He's back, dude. We all thought we was going to have to dot. We'll continue next week. Tune in next week to find out what happens.
But Boris, not for sure what happened. My computer completely shut down and then restarted itself. But long story short, just having the fear. If you guys, I really want you to relinquish that fear. Fear will literally, really, really keep you in the same position 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. And that's why I keep telling people, I really, 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 after reading, not reading, I'm sorry, it was Robert G. Allen. He did a live with us within a private community and all about fears. And the one thing that really stuck out to us was more so, that just hit me really bad. That was actually emotional Zoom for me specifically because, yes, he talked about fears. He talked about other things, related to fears within real estate. But one thing that really stuck out to me that I want to, state to you guys is, how much money are you really losing or not making a day because you're being fearful? How much money are you really losing? There's people on this on Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you watch it from, that's probably comfortable at maybe $60,000 a year, $100,000 a year, or maybe $200,000 a year because they're facing fears. And it got to a point where you think about it, you're really holding yourself back on a daily basis. I know I was because I was afraid to get on phones. After I listened to the entire live, after I started reading about some of the things he was doing in his life, as he opened up about what he'd been through, I was really holding myself back. Coming from a hospitality restaurant industry, thinking that $60,000, $70,000 a year is great. In my eyes, that's not shit now. You can receive a $60,000 to $70,000 check right now by selling one property. But the way people see it, that's like Jesse mentioned earlier, actually, like people are raised to think having $100,000 is the goal. That's it. You made it. And in reality, did we really make it? And you really got to a point where, like, what's really the objective here? What is really the objective? Like, when I first got into real estate, I wanted to make $5,000 a month and be comfortable. To find out that's nothing. To find out that's nothing. You know, then talking to Pace and Cody and at the mastermind when we were in the hot seats, to find out my standard minimum should be $15,000 a month. And even then, that's still low, right? But it's more so building blocks where you have to go through these obstacles to get through what you're trying to get to long term. And you need that community behind you. I would not be where I'm at today if I wasn't around the right people. I'm making more than I ever made working in the hospitality restaurant industry. And I was in the hospitality restaurant industry for 9 years, 7 years as a GM, 2 years as a director of operation. I thought I was doing a damn thing, but I wasn't. I was actually doing myself a disservice for myself and my family, because not understanding, like, okay, is my family really going to be able to live off this? Like, because at the end of the day, I want to do a lot of stuff for my family. I want to do a lot of stuff. Hell, I can only imagine what Jesse wants to do. He got a whole army over there of 4 kids, 2 dogs, and all this other people. but it's just a matter of, like, you gotta think about if $5,000, is that really enough? If I had that mentality right now, is $5,000 a month enough to feed 4 kids that Jesse has? Two dogs and, you know, the wife and all that good stuff. It's a lot of different things that you guys really got to take in consideration. A lot of people don't understand, like, once you relinquish that fear, you're going to make a lot of money. You're going to open a lot of doors. You're going to walk through a lot of opportunities that it's going to be surreal until you actually go through it. But imagine receiving a $19,000 check. Imagine receiving an $11,000 check. Full disclosure, I just received an $11,000 check last week. Literally last week. Went into the account, life goes on. Where's the next one? Versus a lot of people will receive an $11,000 check and just settle on that for months or weeks, whatever that may look like. You can't settle for less. If you're settling for less, you can't beat around me. I'm just being honest. Because I'm gonna surpass what you're potentially doing on your side of things. I'm gonna keep going up, and I'm not gonna stop going up. It's because the sky is the limit, right? At the end of the day, you know, if you keep long story short, I guess, make a long story long. More so, it's just the fact of, like, put yourself around better people to go through different doors that if you wouldn't do it a year ago, you wouldn't do it now. Because essentially, myself a year ago is not the same person. Like, if I told you guys how much I used to make versus now, you wouldn't believe me. You wouldn't believe me. And the fact of this, please, I just want to say, relinquish that fear. You know, Robert G. Allen is an amazing one for me. I know there's other ones out there. I know I relate back to him because that personally resonated with me. Those hours and hours and hours of, you know, conversations that he had when I was just not with just us listening through the live Zoom, but also talking to Pace and all these other different things. And it's kind of hitting me right now, like, damn, like, I really could be in a worse situation, but I'm truly, truly thankful for where I'm at on a daily basis. I'm very humble. I'm very, you know, I'm not one of those flashy individuals or anything like that. I don't need all the shine and everything like that. I don't need the house. It's just a lot of people out there, they get these big checks and want to buy the whole world, right? No, why?
You know what I will say, though? Well, I will say, I'm not going to let you off the hook, Chris. He does get some premium ice cream with his checks.
Yeah, that was
no bottom shelf for this guy.
And yeah, that was actually very good, though. That was very good, actually. But Absolutely, guys. They just, surround yourself with the right people and make money. Corey, I heard Pace mention in a previous Zoom when offering on the MLS listing, you have to use a standard real estate commission contract on a Pace contract with an addendum. Yes and no. Yes and no. I do a lot of transaction coordinating work, and I personally use Pace's contract, and without the real estate commissions contract. Now, have it ever brought up, and I had to switch it and use the addendum 100%. However, the only reason that's going to ever be brought up is if the realtor is not familiarized with Pace's contract. That's the only time that will happen. If they're not familiarized with some of the verbiage or the terminology, they're going to want to switch it. And I totally get it. I'm currently doing that right now. And the property, literally in Phoenix, Arizona, we have a gentleman. He's actually a realtor of his own property and a homeowner. He did a full remodel. A gorgeous duplex, got a studio in the back. Is actually going to be 2 trailers on the left-hand side that we're going to make an Airbnb. But for that specific one, we have him do a cash out refi, and literally he's actually going to draft up the paperwork, and we're going to put Pace's contract in place, but we're going to put it under addendum. So that's actually a perfect example where, yes, you have to do it on that specific thing because he never heard of it. But that's a little bit more of a higher level conversation as far as like what we're trying to do. It's more so we're taking over the seller agreed to do a cash out refi in the property. We're actually going to take the cash out refi over subject to and take over the property. So basically going to be no money out of our pocket. He wanted us to put $150,000 down, but we're not going to do so. But yes, I run into it all the time. It's more so if the realtor not familiarized with it. That's the only time. But it's to be transparent, it's very rare for me. I think I probably did it like twice out of all the contracts I ever sent out. So good question. Good question. Thank you for the question, Corey. Let's see. I do remember
some great questions, by the way. Keep them coming.
Grace, I do remember them talking about submitting a contract and then an agent will use their contract as long as the terms. Yes, as long as the terms are the same. To be honest, I can put it on this napkin right here and I can get away with it and submit it over the title and it'll be a legal contract. As long as the terms are all the same, that's totally fine. But phenomenal questions.
We've got about 10 minutes left, guys. If there's anything that you guys are going through, any questions you guys need, throw them in here. This is your guys' time.
Chris O, what is a good number for Sebastian? Sebastian, please put your number or please PM him, or I think he's on YouTube. So direct message him, connect, make some money together. If you got any questions or concerns or come across anything, just let us know. Jesse and I can definitely get that across the finish line. Let's see. And Luke, definitely appreciate your time today, man. Definitely appreciate your time. Experiencing your experience. Definitely taking action. You went from like making no offers to now you're making 15, and that's only going to get more consistent. Just be ready for when they say yes.
Oh, I'm so hungry for when they say yes. Send that contract in right away. After you look at it.
L says I don't know how to make an offer.
Luke, how about you take this one?
How do you make an offer?
Yeah, how do you make an offer?
Like after you call the agent and get the info.
Well, Al's asking, I don't know how to make offers.
Okay. First, find time to find any home on Privy. Really, I have found or starting to change my mindset to, even if it's not a good deal, I call anyway, and then get the info, get the numbers that they're kind of looking for. And then there's an LOI sheet that is in the Discord that I just use, put in the numbers that you come up with, change the LLC to your LLC if you have one. And then I email it to the agent, and that's it. Sometimes they ghost me. Sometimes they say this is a terrible offer. That's usually what happens.
They either ghost you or they say this is a terrible offer.
Not really. They actually say it in a nicer way. Than a terrible offer.
No, yeah, there's many ways to approach that. L's stating I don't know how to make an offer. There's many different ways you can do it. If I was in your shoes, I will squat up with someone who's making offers, listen in on their conversations, and see exactly how they're approaching it, and or you can. There's so many different directions. I just thought of so many just right then and there. You can make offers either by phone, verbally, email, sometimes even text, depending on who the agent is. We all know agents don't like to pick up the phones. We all know that. So sometimes you got to text them, sometimes you got to call, sometimes you got to email. It all depends on literally specifically, what that real estate agent and yourself are comfortable communicating in. So there's a lot of different ways. But if you haven't never made an offer, squat up with somebody and just listen in on their calls and see exactly what that may look like. Kevin says, besides Can't Hurt Me and Atomic Habits and The Power of One More, do you have any habit? That's a Jesse question.
Habit forming books. I saw that as you were reading that. I'm like, oh, let me pull out all my books I've read this year and let me kind of go through them.
Extreme Discipline by Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink is good too.
Fantastic one. I read one. I'm going through here. I got so many books that I would just recommend.
This is actually
about habit forming.
Why are you looking at that one? I got this right here. It's literally by TJ Jakes. I'm not for sure you guys can see that. Don't drop the mic. It's more so about communicating and like changing wording and how you communicate with others and all that good stuff. That was a big habit for me that I'm still working on still to this day.
I love that one. That is a fantastic book. I'm glad we all read that together. Go find people that you can go read books stuff with. You know what? Let me throw this out here real quick while I'm looking at this book. What if Chris and I did like a $5 a month, cost you $5, and you guys come in and we are intentional. We pick a book a month when we go through this together.
Did you see?
And then not only are we going to go through it, we're going to talk about and give everybody action steps on how we're all going to take action on what that book is talking about. And then we'll also have some accountability in there as well. That's something I think Chris and I are going to start doing if anybody resonates with that.
Jesse, I sent you a text about that this morning, right?
Oh, did you? I haven't gone through all my text messages yet. I've been dealing with COVID crap.
Hey, did you see the new Goggins book was coming out? I said, yeah, I pre-ordered it. And then I sent you the link to order it.
Oh, okay. I'll have to go back and look at it.
And then I said, you can make it a book club.
Oh, dude, we're already on that. See, we're already riding that same wavelength, bro. I would say The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. That was a good habit forming book, I think. It's a good way to kind of give yourself a different way to think about things, making decisions, and just going for it. I mean, I got tons of books to recommend, but specifically we're talking about habit forming. The 5-Second Rule. That's mine.
Sebastian, I think I probably need a little bit more clarity on this question. And it's not making for the deal, but do you have a property with a blank loan? Want to protect yourself with the LLC? You transfer the deed to your name. So, I guess let me make a long story. I'm not going to go into a long version of it. Always use an LLC. Always protect yourself, and if you use an LLC, any contract you sign, anything you send out offers, use an LLC, because at the end of the day, if anything happens to an LLC, I hate to say it's like this, but you don't want to be. They got to sue your LLC. They can't sue you personally. They can sue the business, but they can't sue you personally. So, Sebastian, just always use your LLC for protection. I hope that answered your question. I'm not sure
if I'm interpreting it right, I want to say and I don't know if this is what he's getting at, but just the way I'm reading it. It's almost kind of like, let's say your own property. Let's say you own a personal property in your own name with your family and everybody's living in it. Okay. And you want to protect yourself with your LLC, just transfer the deed of the name to the company. Oh, that's how I'm reading it.
Just do a quick claim deed, right?
You could, but I don't know. If everybody still knows that you're living there, if you got people who have your address, and then you can go look it up on public record and say, oh, it's this LLC, but I know that Jesse owns this. Like if somebody really wanted to figure out that, hey, Jesse owns this LLC, then I think that's some way, and then that's gonna, the whole point is for anonymity, right?
Yeah.
For people to not know which properties you own, what you're, all that kind of fun stuff. So I wouldn't do it on that one specifically, if that's what you're asking. I don't know. I feel like me and Chris answered that two different ways, but hopefully that answered your question. Delia, I love that name. I'm not great at talking to strangers. Needless to say, I'm a bit timid, currently 57 years of age, and I've always been this way. I'm good when people come to me. I am always comfortable helping others, but I have not been able to really overcome this. What can you suggest? It depends. I have two frames of thought right now. My question is, do you want to overcome this? Or are you asking, how do I succeed and not do this? Because if you guys have seen Pace's Avatar series, that's the entire point of this thing, is for if you guys are a little timid, and if maybe you don't feel like that's maybe a strength or even something that you love doing, is just approaching people out of the blue, then go find somebody who does, and you just work on, like, kind of like we just kind of drew that scenario out right now, where Luke can go ahead and submit offers. If somebody else wants to help him go find 2 or 3 or 5 or whatever more offers, email them over to Luke. Luke can go ahead and submit those offers. And the person who submitted those to Luke doesn't ever have to talk to a stranger. They don't ever have to talk to anybody. They get to just focus on that one thing. So this is an example. I just want to hammer down on this. This is an example when Chris and I tell you guys that, hey, you guys don't need to know everything, and you don't need to do everything. You just need to focus on one thing. This is a prime example of how you guys can scale your business and just focus on one thing. Who, not how. Who, not how. Okay? So, Delia, I'm not sure if that answers your question. If you don't want to talk to strangers, you absolutely don't have to. You can JV with other amazing people like Luke, who love talking to people.
Now, I hated it.
I love that, Renee. We'd love to see you, Renee, there. Let's see. We got a lot of people in the comments that would love to sign up. I think that's probably phenomenal thing. A lot of questions about JV. And Luke, how did they reach out to you again? I don't think
my cell phone number is, I can't type in the comments, but 763-244-6301.
Okay.
Is my cell phone
we can
number.
see it now that everybody can see your number now.
I've been hitting Tampa St. Pete's, but I can hit anywhere. It doesn't matter. I'll call anyone. But I mean, everyone kind of knows my schedule now. So if anyone wants to hop on Zooms and call between 5 and 6 Central Time, let me know. Like, I'll be calling then. It's not too much more work to put up a Zoom and we can call. I mean, I'm going to be honest. Am I great at it? No. Have I completed a deal? No. Am I making the steps towards it? Yes. So if that would help you out, let me know. And then I can kind of be like, here's the LOI I'm sending. Like, it's nothing fancy.
It's always
except for I send them sometimes late at night. Like, it's that one Friday at like 10 p.m. And I was like, oh man, they might not like this, because it was a rough offer. And I was like, I'm gonna be living in this agent's head all weekend.
I'm renting space there for free.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Paul, amazing. 100%. About paperwork. Oh, just squatted with sub 2 students. We have every document that's needed to in all 50 states. Literally all 50 states. We're going to guide you in the right direction. Make sure you ask the right questions and all good stuff. Just always provide value. Just never try to take. Always lead with value. So I just want to throw that out there as well. And just guys, this just popped up in my head right now. When you do reach out to sub 2 students, and mastermind students, or anything along those terms, we all have our businesses, right? But at the same time, just please be very, very patient. Be patient. If you do shoot us a text, just realistically, I'm just going to set the expectation. You won't get a text back in less than 30 seconds. It's not going to happen. There's people that would text me and literally specifically, ask a question, and all of a sudden, like 20 minutes later, put a question mark and then an hour later, question. It's just a matter of Jesse and our day is really met with intention. And it's very intentional where we literally time block everything. We're not ignoring you. We want to make sure we get back to the message, but we literally have blocked out meetings, Zooms that we conduct on a daily basis. And that's no exaggeration. We spend about a minimum of 30 to 40 hours a week on Zooms. And these are not bullshitting. Damn, can we curse? That's probably what we
curse.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
we don't spend our time BSing around Zooms. It's met with attention. That's how we get a lot of our private money lenders. We're getting a lot of other partnerships, and it's a lot of different things that we're working on. So I just want to say, just be patient. It's like for us, if we send you, we call or text you, we don't expect you to pick up right then and there. We know you got your own lives.
Unless you send us something that the inspection period ends like tomorrow.
Yeah, then blow our phones up. Like, hey, whatever that conversation may look like. Josh Smith, is the offer to reach out for some mindset and business talk still available? 100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
I think we got that.
I can put it
right here. There we go. So right here, this banner on the bottom, guys, this is the link. Calendly.com/thirdmindrei/let's connect. If you guys want to have like a one-on-one, you guys got stuff going on, you have more specific questions, let's get in there, man. Let's figure out how can we do business together and how many ways can we make money together. That's why we're here.
Absolutely. And just to touch on that a little bit, guys, when you do book it, it is a Zoom call. It's not a phone call. It is a Zoom call. And if you guys are not going to make it, that's totally fine. Just reschedule. We understand.
Let us know, though.
Yeah, please let us know.
Do not, because like Chris said, and then somebody asked this question, and we went kind of through Luke's day, but just so you guys know, like Chris and I, we wake up at the same time every day. I think I told you guys already. I wake up at 3 a.m. every day. I go to the gym, I meditate, I read a book, I'm in meetings, I blah 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 blah. Right, and it's structured, and it's the same thing every single day. And you have to. That's how it has to be. You have to be consistent. Luke's day is the same thing every single day. Chris's day is the same thing every single day, to include these Zoom meetings. So if you guys reach out to us on our Calendly, these Zoom meetings are scheduled the same time every single day. Myself, Chris, and our other partner, Colin, we are building our schedules around having these one-on-ones with you guys. Do not book a call and not show up. Okay, it goes back into where we're talking about earlier. Like you guys need to be trading these meetings right here. These Facebook groups, everything that you're a part of. You need to think of it like you're going into a board meeting with other business professionals. And every time you are given the opportunity to say something, that's literally all eyes on you. Are you going to waste your comment? You're going to waste your time either not showing up when it's your turn to speak, or waste it criticizing, condemning, or complaining. That's how you guys need to think about that. Because anytime I see that on Facebook, or anytime somebody books a call with us and just does not show, that's okay. Silver lining is, though, Chris and I know, hey, we're not doing business with that person. Guys, we're not saying that you can't cancel. Okay, I just want to hammer down on that. Life happens. We get it. But give us the courtesy of a heads up so we can adjust our schedule or fill that in, because we have dropped everything so you have our complete, full, and undivided attention. So I just wanted to hammer down on that.
Renee, I'm grabbing a link for you right now. I'll put it in the side chat in 2 seconds.
I'm just gonna plug in right here.
Oh, Renee, it should be on the side right here, or you should be able to see it scrolling across the bottom of the screen. But I'll read it out loud real quick. Calendly.com/3RD mind REI third mind REI /let's connect.
And I'm just going to throw out there, if anyone wants a workout program, let me know. Disclaimer, not a personal trainer, just been doing this forever. But Luke, if you want, like, no one, I'm not saying you have to work out, but if people want to get into that habit, let me know. I have like 8 programs I've programmed throughout my years that have been pretty good. And I would love just to give them to people because I think part of just having no fear is just being confident in yourself. And for me, that comes from being as healthy as I can be.
I love that. Well, I'm definitely going to be hitting you up, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
for putting
I
that
already
out there.
sent
Really
my
appreciate
playlist, Jesse, because Taylor Swift.
Hey, it wasn't Taylor Swift. Okay, first of all,
Oh, Katy Perry.
It was Katy Perry.
Okay.
Okay, don't disrespect me on my show like this, Luke.
I thought, but then I thought about it, right? And I was like, if you can move a bunch of weight listening to Katy Perry, that's an alpha move.
I agree. I've wrestled in the pigs. Okay, now I'm wrestling elephants.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'm doing it while listening to Teenage Dream.
But we definitely appreciate everyone that's watching, and definitely, again, sorry for the inconvenience in the beginning for the technical difficulties. We're going to work on it to make sure next Saturday is a smooth transition. We're trying to full disclaimer, we're trying to get our Zoom to connect with our lives and all that good stuff, and it's just a lot of behind the scenes things we're trying to make sure it works. But long story short, thanks again, much appreciated. Luke, thanks for coming on here and sharing your experience and facing some of your challenges that you're going through. And guys, you had some amazing questions today. Definitely I think we're going to have a special guest next week. I'm not for sure if it's next week or the following week, but I've just got to verify the calendar and see exactly what day is in. But you guys are going to be pretty impressed with this one. So yeah, thanks again, Luke. Thank you again, and thank you all for bearing with us. Have a good one.
Thank you guys. Really appreciate you guys
everyone.
all being here and spending some time with us.
Absolutely.
Have an awesome rest of your day. Let's get it.